好，新年好，Happy New Year！今日咧就係想用星座做一個自我介紹。咁我哋就係用西方嘅星座啦，嗬，即係話人哋問你what's your sign？你嘅星座係乜嘢？咁就係指你睇下幾多月出世，咁跟住就知道你嘅星座係屬乜嘢咯，嗬？即係如果中文嘅話，可能人哋會問你你屬乜嘢啊？咁就係用你幾多年出世就知道你係屬乜嘢。咁就係想用3種星座同大家做一個自我介紹啦。喺西方嘅 astrology 嚟講咧，唔單止有你個太陽座，太陽座就係你幾多月幾多日出世，個太陽屬於邊一個星座，嗰個就係你最基本嘅星座啦。人哋問你 What's your sign？ 就係指你嘅太陽座啦。咁除咗太陽座咧，仲有月亮星座。咁月亮星座就係講點樣表達你嘅內心啊，關於情感呢方面嘅嘢，同埋點樣表達你嘅情緒。咁仲有一個係咩咧？就係上升星座。上升星座就係其實就係喺太陽喺東邊嘅平行線嗰個星座屬於咩咧？就係叫做上升星座。咁即係話你如果知道你幾多點出世嘅話咧，你就可以上網擺入你嘅資料啊，係邊個地方出世啊，幾多點出世啊，咁跟住你就會得到你嘅出生圖，also known as your birth chart。咁出生圖唔止3樣嘢嘅，出生圖仲有好多好多其他資料嘅。其實就係你出生嗰一剎那天空嘅地圖。即係啲星星啊、宇宙啊喺邊度，咁就係其實就係簡單嚟講，你嘅出生圖就係你出世嗰一刻天上嘅地圖。咁呢3種星座有咩？其實係咩意思咧？咁太陽星座就係你最基本嘅星座，就係可能係你點講？覺得用中文真係好難解釋咯。不過你嘅太陽星座就係代表你，即係你嘅人，你心底你個人係點樣樣，就係可能最解釋得到，就係用你嘅太陽星座解釋。咁英文咧就係我想講嘅就係 your core self，like the deep sense of identity, the core being of yourself that is represented by your sun sign。咁你月亮星座又代表咩咧？月亮星座就係代表你嘅內心咯。唔係點解有首歌係月亮代表我的心，就係咁嘅意思啦。其實你內心諗嘅嘢唔一定表達出嚟噶嘛，但係你唔代表你內向嗰一方面唔重要啊嘛，所以月亮星座都係好重要。咁上升星座又係乜嘢咧？上升星座就係你表達出去俾其他人點樣樣，就係你嘅上升星座。即係譬如話，如果即係講開車咁樣啦，嚟個比喻咯，嗬。你嘅太陽星座咧就係可能咩牌子啦，部車係咩牌子。咁跟住你嘅上升星座咧就係邊一款車啦，譬如話係 SUV 啊，定係跑車啊等等啦。咁跟住你嘅月亮星座就係代表你聽緊咩歌。咁希望呢個比喻大家可以明白呢幾個嘅分別啦，嗬。咁我而家就同大家講一講我依3個星座係乜嘢啦，嗬。咁嗱，我第一個咧就係即係講我嘅太陽星座啦。我嘅太陽星座就係處女座。咁我描述一下，即係大多數依啲星座會係點樣樣，但係又唔代表佢哋每一個都係一定會係咁樣樣嘅。呢 個係大範圍咁樣講啦，即係啲人點樣講處女座咧，就係話佢哋係好追求完美啊，好中意忙依樣嗰樣，即係成日都唔停咁樣要去做嘢啦，咁跟住追求完美，咁所以就會比較即係對自己要求好高啦，咁跟住就好企理啦，即係執得即係好整齊，咁跟住咩都係好有順序、好有秩序咁樣做嘢就好有 structure 啦。咁我嘅月亮星座咧就係水瓶座。咁水瓶座咧，其實啲人係話水瓶座係古靈精怪，即係好奇怪咁樣，即係我行我素，中意點樣做就點樣做，比較冷落咯，即係佢哋會話水瓶座啲人係好劃清界線，即係好用理智 logical，very logical，即係理解可以分得清好多嘢咁樣子，就係用個腦袋嚟make decisions，同埋唔會願意同人同人即係接觸太近，佢想保護自己咁跟住就好刻意咁樣劃清界線，唔中意get attached, right? So they have the like stereotypes of being detached. 咁我嘅上升星座咧就係雙魚座，咁雙魚座 is Pisces，雙魚座咧就係其實係處女座嘅對觀星座，其實係兩個星座係差唔多係相反咁樣嘅，即係處女座會係好遵守規則啊，好中意structure and organisation， 咁跟住雙魚座就係佢嘅對觀星座，咁跟住雙魚座係用佢個 symbol， 佢個標誌係魚啊嘛，兩條魚，咁佢又係一個屬於水性嘅星座，咁所以佢係好隨緣咯，好中意發夢，好中意諗好大嘅 big picture 嘅 idea，即係同處女座係有好多似處女座。They have a lot of similarities and a lot of non-similarities， 即係譬如話雙魚座都係好樂意幫助其他人啊，因為佢哋係好理想，係非常嘅理想啦，即係成日就喺度發白日夢啦，就係喺度諗哇如果呢個點發生啊，中六合彩咁樣就好啦，咁跟住哇一開始就喺度諗到即係有啲就係發白日夢咁咯嗬，咁當然每一個星座都有佢嘅優點同埋缺點。英文咧，我哋就係話 high vibrational and low vibrational。咁我所以點解咁有興趣星座呢一方面嘅嘢，因為即係我好中意了解，即係繼續進入了解我自己啦嚇。咁跟住可以就係用星座呢啲咁樣嘅特徵同埋 description 喺度諗一諗，我而家係比較向缺點嘅方面啦，定係優點呢方面 ？So am I exhibiting high vibrational qualities of a certain sign, or is it low vibrational, right? 咁我覺得咧，其實我幾中意我嘅呢三樣嘅星座嘅位置啦，因為我覺得我越嚟越了解其他嘅星座，即係譬如話水瓶座啊，咁即係我月亮星座就係水瓶座，咁就係內向係點樣樣，咁其實係好準，因為我譬如發生咩事咁跟住情緒係點樣樣，即係反應係點樣樣，我都會係好即係劃清界線咁樣用個腦袋諗，而唔係就咁點樣感覺就點樣感覺。 所以呢一點咧係好準嘅。咁跟住雙魚座就係我嘅上升星座啦，即係話比較中意發白日夢啊，即係好理想咁樣。同埋咧，都有時啦，因為我嘅太陽星座係處女座啊嘛，所以佢哋即係對稱就係、即係其實係好似好相反咁樣啦，嗬！即係處女座係點樣整齊咁，跟住雙魚座就係反義詞咁樣，但係佢哋會互相幫助大家啦，即係需要。企理需要整齊嘅時候，即係我就會用我嘅處女座嘅能量嚟提醒自己點樣先至係翻嚟呢個世界度，因為處女座係土，it's an earth sign，right？咁但係你淨係注重structure 同埋點樣係先至哇做，即係成日都唔忙咁樣唔唞嘅話，咁又唔得噶嘛。咁所以就有雙魚座呢一方面，令到我覺得我可以即係放鬆我嘅生活態度，可以點樣享受自己。好多雙魚座直覺係好準嘅。咁直覺我覺得係非常重要咯，即係譬如話你去請人，即係譬如話你係幫一個公司，你係做請人做應聘，咁你喺佢嘅簡歷上邊嚟睇嘅話係好完美，哦依個人表面上黑紙白紙寫到我想揾人需要嘅嘢，咁但係當你真係面試依個人嗰時，你憑你嘅直覺覺得可能佢唔係一個好人，或者有啲警棍咁樣，咁當然係直覺都係非常重要。咁唔知大家覺得我係比較似處女座啊、水瓶座啊，或者係雙魚座咧？喺下邊講俾我聽，你哋覺得我係最似邊一個座啊？咁I'm gonna talk about my sun sign, moon sign, and rising sign. So moon sign so we all know, everyone knows pretty much like your sun sign is your core self, your core beliefs. The sun shines on this aspect of your personality. So it's essentially you. And then your moon sign is everything that is internal. So how you process emotions, how you feel things, that would be your moon sign. And then your rising sign is also known as the ascendant. So those are the same, two different words but for the same thing. So your rising sign is essentially what the sun was in when it rose on the eastern horizon. So that's your personality. It's how you come off to other people. So for example, like if you're driving a car, right, your sun sign would maybe be like the brand of the car, like are you driving a BMW, are you driving a Toyota, and then your rising sign would be the model, and like either if you're driving like an SUV, or you're driving a minivan, or if you're driving a submarine, right? And then your moon sign would be the type of music you're listening to in the car while you're driving. So that's essentially what sums up your big three. So I'm a Virgo sun because I was born in September, and my moon sign is Aquarius, and my rising sign is Pisces. So I'm grateful for my signs. I feel like I've learned to work with them and understand the high vibrational and low vibrational side of things. So Virgos are like perfectionists. They, workaholics, does not like to have free time. That has changed for me. I think I used to be like that until I realized that I just want to vibe and chill out. and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's where my Pisces side have come in. Pisces are like daydreamers, they are like very big picture people, they will also romanticize everything. So I mean, balance, right? It's all about balance. I definitely try to use both signs to help me meander through life and definitely see the benefits and positives in both signs. And then as for my moon sign, Aquarius, they are, people have like the stereotype with Aquariuses being weird and just like eccentric and aloof, really detached. I think it's kind of accurate in the sense that I am detached when it comes to like processing emotions. Like it'll take me a while to process emotions, but like the way that I think about and conceptualize things, like I do it in a very logical way. Like I approach it in a very logical way. Like I'll be maybe like complaining to my therapist, like I'm suffering, but I'm still in my head trying to figure out like a reason why I am suffering instead of just like feeling the feelings. So in that sense, I am very much like an Aquarius, but Aquariuses are also like all about the collective and like very like high hopes towards like a better future for all of humanity. So I definitely have those dreams. So yeah, that's pretty much my big three. Let me know what your big threes are in the comments below. I would love to hear more about your guys' sign, and let me know if this makes sense. Thank you.